welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is your first time here. I ripped my lashes off before I filmed this intro, so please do not mind that. I look a little crazy, but you will see what the actual final product was at the end of this video. But today I did kind of a purple and pink kind of smoky eye with a really pretty gold shimmer on the lid and a kind of peachy nude lip. And yeah, I had a lot of fun filming this for you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy. As always, leave me any comments down below and give this video a thumbs up before you leave. And let's just go ahead and get started. Hey guys, so we are gonna go ahead and get started. As you can see, I have already primed my eyelids and I went ahead and filled in my brows before I started this video. I went in with the Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer in the shade Soft Brown, followed by the Essence Make Me Brow. Just wanted to have those on so we don't look so crazy. And I also primed my eyelids with the Maybelline Masterprime Long Lasting Eyeshadow Base. Looks like this, and then I just set it with my Peach Perfect translucent powder. So we are ready to get started. I have laid down some tape, as you guys have seen me do in other dramatic looks, so we're gonna start there. First thing I'm gonna do is set down this color as kind of just a base. It's the Colourpop SuperShock shadow in the shade Glow. It just looks like this. It's very basic. I'm actually just gonna take this on my finger. It's just like a cream shade, and just kind of lay this down where I'm going to be putting shadow on my lid just as kind of a base. You could also do this with concealer, but this to me is much easier than that. And this will dry down to like a powder and you don't really need to set it, which is nice. And then I'm going to start by going in with some of these shadows. This is just a Z palette that I have some of my single shadows in. Some of these shadows are from MakeupGeek. Some of them I've gotten in Boxycharms. Yeah, so I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is Cupcake from MakeupGeek. And then the second shade we're going to go in with is Petal Pusher, also from MakeupGeek. I have way too much crap on my desk, you guys. I'm just going to start with a really big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Cupcake right here, this nice kind of muted pinky shade, and run that into my crease. Also taking this a little bit on the outer V right here. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of a pointed brush and go in with this next shade, which is Petal Pusher from MakeupGeek. The MakeupGeek single eyeshadows are really, really good. If you're just looking to buy individual shades, they're excellent. I think that they run around $5 or $6 a piece, I want to say. They're really, really good shadows. So same thing here, just keeping this a little lower than the pink. I'm going to run this in my crease and in my outer V. So now I'm going to take a little bit of this shade, which is MakeupGeek Cherry Cola. It's kind of just a darkened kind of brownish purple, as you would assume Cherry Cola would probably look like. And taking this BMX 430 crease brush, looks like this. This came in a Boxycharm a couple months ago as well. Just going to pick up a little bit of that on kind of the tip of my brush and really place this in the outer corner. Something like that, just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. And then going in with that original fluffy brush and just buffing out the edges of that. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit stuffy. I'm still getting over a cold, so don't mind this manly voice I have going on here. Sorry about it. I'm going to take this Cupcake shade and put it down on top of my lid, just as kind of a base for, where is it? How did I already lose that shadow? What the F? What did I put it back in the box? I did. I think what I'm actually going to do is first go in with this Colourpop SuperShock shadow in Weenie. Weird name. It's one that Kathleen Lights made. It's kind of a rose gold, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to take that on my finger and put this on like kind of the inner, basically from here to about midway. And then I'm going to go in with my Cover FX Shimmer Veil. Also, this is in the shade Amethyst. So this has a doe foot applicator, so I'm just going to lay this pretty much right on top of the shade we just laid down. Holy cow, this is pretty. And kind of just run it where I want it using the doe foot. And then I'm kind of going to blend it out a little bit with my finger just so it's not so harsh. And this will kind of dry down if you give it a second. But before it does, I'm going to grab just a little bit of this Petal Pusher shade and kind of just run it along the edges here to get rid of that harsh line. Something like that. This is a very unique shade. I don't know that I've ever used something like this, but it looks really cool. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. So since we did lose a little bit of the darkness on the outside, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that Cherry Cola and just add a little bit more of that to the outer corner here. It is a little bit patchy, I will say. I'm not super pleased with the pigmentation of the Shimmer Veil. I think if you just lay it down and don't touch it, it's maybe fine. But if you need to try to blend it out like I did, it got a little bit crazy. So I'm just gonna take the tape off. And I'm gonna just clean this up and I will be right back. Okay, so I removed the tape and I just went in with a makeup wipe and kind of cleaned up anything that was down here. I think I am going to go in and add something on top of this just because the color, I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but it's definitely a little bit patchy with the way that it went on. It's very wet when you apply it, so I think that it just has a hard time kind of staying in the place that you set it down. So I'm going to dip into this Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions. It's like one of their little mini palettes. And it looks like this. I'm going to just go into this shade a little bit. I think just with my finger. And kind of lay this on top and see if it will kind of come together a little bit more. It definitely changed the look of it a little bit, but I think it looks a lot less patchy. Also just going to go ahead and grab some of this pink shade right here and run it in my crease just a little bit. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the face makeup. I'm actually gonna be trying a new primer, or new to me. This is the IPKN Color Correcting Primer, and it has SPF 15. I got this in a Birchbox, maybe? So it's basically a green tinted primer, and it's supposed to kind of cover up redness on your face and kind of color correct the spots on your face that are red, which obviously I have a lot of redness on my face. So I'm gonna try this first just a little bit on my chin. So it comes out very green. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it does leave you with kind of like a green hue, kind of. Not sure how to feel about that. Obviously your foundation should cover that up, but I don't know, I'm a little nervous. It feels kind of just like a moisturizer. It gets a little bit tacky. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Then I am going to go in also with a little bit of my Step 1 Smoothing Primer for my nose area where I have large pores. It's literally just spit across my hand. Easy filler. So today for foundation, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro-Glow foundation. I used to be a big fan of the Pro Matte foundation when my face was really oily, but because I've been more dry lately, I've actually been really liking this. I'm in the shade 202 if you're curious, and then going to use my EcoTools sponge again. Okay, so there is one layer of this foundation. It's very full coverage, and I think it just looks super nice on the skin, especially under these lights. I look very glowy, but I like it a lot. I think it looks really nice. Of course, taking that down your neck, and your ear. Also, my hair looks terrible today. I feel like I say that in every video, and I don't really have an actual good excuse for it. It just is what it is. Concealer today, I'm going to take the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 5. Looks like this. I am running low, people. And I'm not going to go nuts with the concealer today. I literally just said, I'm not going to go nuts with the concealer today. I'm just going to blend that out with my same sponge. And then taking some of my Peach Perfect setting powder and the Morphe R13. I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eyes. When I just breathed in to speak, I just inhaled some serious powder. What I was gonna say is I'm gonna now contour, and this is actually not a contouring powder. This is a NYX blush in the shade Taupe. Mine is looking quite sad, but I really like this to contour with. It's a really nice shade for me. And using the Morphe M523 brush. This is a little bit of a different brush. It's not my typical angled brush that I would contour with. So it kind of, I mean, it's fluffy, but it's kind of dense enough that you can really place it where you want it, but then fluffy enough where you can really blend it out. I don't know, I like it. Anyways, just gonna pick up some of that on my brush and contour a little bit. And then taking my current favorite bronzer, this is the E.L.F. Primer-Infused Bronzer in Forever Sunkissed on my, you guessed it, Sonia Kashuk stippling brush. Then for blush today, I'm going to take another one of my favorites. This is the Burt's Bees blush in Toasted Cinnamon. Looks like this. It's kind of just like a bronzy, peachy shade. It's really pretty. And then for highlight today, I am going to go in with the BECCA highlighter that Jaclyn Hill created with them in Champagne Pop. Mine is Well Loved. This is such a pretty shade. And also I'm obsessed with Jaclyn Hill. Pop that on the tops of my cheekbones. This is a little bit more golden of a highlight than I would typically wear, or more peachy, I guess, but it's so pretty. Oh my god. Then I'm also just gonna take a little bit of this highlighter. This is from Jouer. It's not Jouer, it's Jouer, and this is in the shade Citrine. This one's also looking a little ratchet, and this is very blinding, so I'm going to take a little bit of this just right here because it's intense. Woo! This is a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous highlight if you have fair skin. So flippin' pretty. Okay, so now that we have all of our powders and everything on our face, I'm gonna go ahead and set with the E.L.F. Beauty Shield Spray. So now we're gonna go in and finish my under eye. So I'm gonna go back in with this Huda Beauty palette. Say Huda Beauty 10 times fast. Huda Beauty, Huda Beauty, Huda Beauty. Okay, I guess it's not that hard. But saying it one time is difficult for me, evidently. The Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions palette that I used on my eyes earlier. And I am gonna take the very middle shade right there with a definer brush that looks like this. And that also still has green eyeshadow on it from the last smoky look I did. Taking some of that on this definer brush, smudging it on my lower lash line. And actually, that's not quite dark enough for what I'm looking for. I'm actually gonna go in with this shade with that definer brush. It's more of like a purple shade. And then taking this smudger brush and going into this pinky shade right here that we used on our eyes and just smudging out that purple shade. I'm actually gonna go back in with that Jouer highlighter and use this to highlight my inner corners with this little smudger brush here. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, I like that. I do that a lot. I'll use my face highlight also on my eyes just because it all kind of ties together and I think it looks good. And I'm going to take this E.L.F. angled brush. Doesn't have a name or anything, but it looks like this. It's just like a really skinny angled brush. And I'm going to dip into my Maybelline EyeStudio gel liner in Blackest Black. Looks like this. It's just a potted gel liner. And I'm going to line my upper lid with this. And same thing on my other eye. Don't do what I do and pull on your eye. It's not good for the skin around your eyes. Don't do that, but sometimes it's just a necessity. Sorry. And I'm also gonna just flick this out a little bit in line with where my shadow is. Something like that. Nothing too crazy. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. So I'm actually just gonna put some black. This is totally optional. If you wanna just leave it like this, I think that this looks really good also, but just because it's a more intense look, I am gonna add some black liner to my waterline. So now I'm gonna curl my lashes and we'll add some mascara. Okay, so I just added a quick layer of mascara on my top and bottom, and by no means do you need to do this, but I am gonna go in with some false lashes. These are the Ardell Demi Wispy Studio Effect lashes. I've already trimmed these to fit my eyes, so if you are a first-time lash wearer, the very first thing that you do when you take these out of the package, so these ones you can see have shorter bristles towards this side and then they get longer. The shorter ones are going to go towards the inner corner of your eye. And you want to measure these because for me, these come way too long when I first buy them. So you want to measure them so that they fit your eye. And then I'm just taking this Duo brush on glue, and I'm just going to brush the band of the lash with some of this glue. And you want to use quite a bit of this because you don't want your lashes popping off later on. And if you're putting these on yourself, you can certainly blow on them. You don't want to put these directly on after you put glue on because they're just going to slip and slide around. So because I'm putting these on myself, I'm going to blow on them. Otherwise, if you're putting these on a client, I wouldn't suggest doing that. But these are just going on my eyes, so I don't care. So when you're putting on false lashes, this is a lash applicator. Sometimes I use a tweezers, which I wouldn't recommend doing unless you're pretty experienced. Because obviously they're pointy and you're gonna poke yourself in the eye. But these are a lash applicator. These are actually meant to put on false lashes with. I got these on Amazon for a couple dollars. So what you're gonna do is I kind of come down with my lash and kind of set it where I want it. Hold on, let me get a camera angle here. Kind of set it down where I want it with the band touching my lash line. And then I'll go in with the tool and kind of push the band into my lash line where I want it. And then I'll go in and kind of just squish the lashes into my lash line with my fingers like this a little bit if I feel like they're maybe not quite on. Something like that. Just adds a lot of drama to your look, in my opinion. I don't wear false lashes very often. In fact, I barely wear them ever. But I do think that they add a lot of extra kind of pizzazz to your look. So I do think that they're something that's kind of fun to do. If you don't normally wear lashes, they don't feel very comfortable. I will say that. I'm a contact wearer as well. So if I'm wearing contacts and lashes, I'm not feeling that great in the eye region throughout the day, to be honest. But like I said, I do think that they add something. And if you don't want to wear lashes, you can of course just do a couple extra coats of mascara and have a similar effect, in my opinion. I don't know if you can see these from the side, but they are pretty dramatic. I think that they're just really pretty. So I'm going to let these lashes dry and then I will be right back. So again, I'm just going to kind of come down at the angle that my eyes kind of need and then set it down where I want it and then kind of place the band where I need it to be. Okay, so lashes are on. That's what they look like. So for lips, I'm going to go in with a more pinky shade. This is from Colourpop in the shade Alyssa. So yeah, that is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me any comments down below of what you guys would like to see next, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.